Once the confrontation began, he realized he had severely misjudged Wellington and the British. Wellington had never lost a major campaign, and here at Waterloo, Napoleon for the first time met a military genius of his own caliber. Over the years, Wellington had obsessively studied Napoleonic warfare. Like some great chess master, he could accurately predict almost every move Napoleon was going to make. He knew the French wanted to divide his troops and conquer. He would not divide. Time was getting tight for Napoleon, for he now learned that the Prussians were nearing the battlefield. If they joined with the British, there would be no way he could beat their combined armies. In an effort to somehow dispose of the British faster, he brought forth his undefeated Imperial Guard. This was his last chance.
The Imperial Guard, especially the Old Guard, are men who have served extremely valiantly. They've all won awards for valor in their previous fights. They've never been defeated. On every battlefield when Napoleon's had to administer the coup de grace, it's the Old Guard that's done it for him.
At 7 p.m., he led the Guard out himself for a last stand.
He led them in person until his staff persuaded him that no, he must not put himself in jeopardy, that even if they won the battle, if he were killed, then everything they'd been fighting for would be at an end.
So Napoleon turned them over to his field commander, and they marched forward towards the British. The future of France was on the line here, and the fate of Europe for the next 100 years. Wellington had cleverly hidden part of his army behind the reverse slope of a hill. He took a place there along with them. The mighty French Imperial Guard marched right towards them. When the Guard got in range, Wellington gave the order to stand and fire.
Right, Brandon! Present! Pull out!
The Guard can't take it. They take the pounding initially, they move forward, men step forward in ranks. The discipline is incredible. These are Napoleon's best troops, but the pounding is just too much.
The Guard began to retreat. Immediately, panic hit the ranks of all the other French soldiers on the field. Morale collapsed, and the entire army began to disintegrate. This was followed by a British infantry charge. Napoleon's magic touch had finally disappeared. Outmaneuvered, outgunned, and outgeneraled, the French broke ranks and ran. At the same time, the Prussian army arrived and flooded the field. Napoleon realized it was hopeless. Under the protection of the Guard, he abandoned the battlefield and headed back to Paris. On June 22, 1815, Napoleon abdicated the throne again and was banished to the tiny island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. He spent 6 desperate, desolate years here before his death on May 5, 1821. According to the dictates of his will, in 1840 his body was brought to Paris from St. Helena. As France's greatest hero, he is buried today in a setting of spectacular glory at the Church of the Dome in Hôtel des Invalides. He remains one of history's most controversial figures. During his life, he had already become a legend. In death, he slipped into the realm of myth.